Hey everyone, this is Phil, and like many of you, I'm working from home now. I did arrange a little home office, so this is where I'm at right now. That's why there's nothing behind me. There's plenty of stuff to this side and to that side. I'm doing a lot of desk work and I'm doing a little product photography on the side as well. Fortunately, we have enough space to be able to arrange that and stay inside where it's safe, obviously. So today I wanted to do a photo pickups video, and this is something that the big film photography YouTubers do every once in a while, and I realize it might seem a little pretentious to do this since I don't have that big of a following yet, and I don't know if I ever will. But I always enjoy watching those videos, so I thought I would try to make a go at it and make one of those. So I have a couple of things that I want to show you today, a couple books and a few cameras as well. So I hope you enjoy this. So the first thing I want to show you is the catalog from a recent Saul Leiter exhibit that was done here in Tokyo. It was held at Bunkamura in Shibuya. Unfortunately, it closed due to COVID-19, like everything else. And so the exhibition time was actually cut a little short. And I didn't get to go a second time. Leiter is my favorite photographer. He has a wonderful way with color and composition and abstract depictions of normal everyday scenes that I admire and love to look at over and over again. So I was really lucky and happy to check out this exhibition. And obviously the catalog that I got is the same images that were shown in the exhibition as well. And at the same time I also got a portfolio of color types, which is a photographic print technique. I bought this because I wanted to, of course, have the book with everything shown, but I also wanted to have a more like tangible print of the images. And these are very beautiful. I did expect them or hope that they would be more like a darkroom printing paper, but they do feel a lot like regular, like fine art print paper. So it's not exactly what I wanted, but it's very close. Unfortunately, framing stuff and putting it on the wall is not a huge thing in Japan, so I'm not expecting to get to do any of that. But it's still nice to have them and get them out every once in a while and look at them. So those are two of my things that I got from the Saul Leiter exhibit. And there is another story that relates to this exhibit. So after I went and looked at this exhibit, I actually emailed the Saul Leiter Foundation, who are in charge of his estate and organizing the prints and slides in a lot of cases that he left behind, which are not cataloged or some of them even developed at all. So they're going through thousands and thousands of slides that he left behind, and they're cataloging those. And I emailed them and just told them thanks for the exhibit. It was a real pleasure to get to see Saul's works up close and really enjoy them. And they emailed me back, and I was hoping, of course, for them to email me back. And they actually sent me this link to a website called 28vignonstreet.com, which is the website of a gallery. They currently have an exhibition or an online exhibition of Saul Leiter's slides that have never been shown before. So I will put that on the screen, and I'll put a link down in the description, so you can have a look at that as well. I really enjoyed that website, so I hope you might too. And it's really great and really encouraging to see that there's still new work coming out from my favorite photographer, and yeah, I really enjoy looking at it. The second thing I recently picked up is a compact camera, and it's this. It's a Fuji Cardia Mini Tiara, and that's another item that was sold under different names in different markets. So in the US, it would have been the DL Super, which stands for apparently drop load, because this camera, just open it. I can't open it up right now because there's film inside, but if you open it up, it just opens the film slot down here, and then you drop in the film and just lay it flat, and then you close it up, and it winds automatically. This camera preloads or pre-winds the film, and then it just counts down to 0, which obviously doesn't give you any extra frames, which is kind of frustrating. What I like about this camera is that it's very light, it's very small, it's metal, it has metal casing, it's aluminum, but it has an anodized finish that kind of makes it look like titanium, which obviously people are used to seeing from things like Contax cameras. So this is obviously more affordable alternative to say a Contax T2023, although it does not have the all the settings that you would get with the higher priced cameras. It does have a very nice lens. One of the websites I looked up actually said that people used to adapt this lens and use it on Leicas, which I found ridiculous, because look at this, you would have to rebuild the casing. And I really, if anyone has one of those adapted lenses or has seen pictures of that, please show me, because I really want to see how it looks. And it again, like I mentioned in my camera history video, it has that feature where it turns on the flash automatically, and you have to turn it off by pressing the button on the back 2 times. Which is annoying, but at least you can switch it off, unless you close the camera up again. It stays that way. And yeah, what I don't like about this camera is that if you're focusing and you press the shutter to focus it, it doesn't actually move the lens. So once you fully press, if you half press the shutter, it's focus locked and exposure locked, but it doesn't actually focus. So once you press the shutter button fully, then it moves the lens, and it takes the picture. So there's actually a delay that if you're taking action shots or street photography, might cause you to lose the shot. So that's kind of a downside to this camera, but otherwise it's a very nice looking and very capable camera. I've enjoyed the photos that came out of this camera very, very much. So that's definitely a recommendation. They're up in price now compared to what they used to be, but they're still more affordable than some of the hotter cameras right now. And speaking of hot cameras, right now I also got an Olympus XA. I don't have to tell you anything about this camera, you know what it is, and you've probably seen reviews of this over on Matt Day's channel or on Analog Insights, places like that are much better at reviewing stuff than I am. So I won't tell you anything about it. I can tell you that I was initially skeptical of the design. This whole like elliptical design element of the bulge and the black plastic. It all looked very 90s, very maybe even 80s to me, and wasn't very appealing. But I did take a plunge on it because so many people were raving about it. And I gotta tell you, it looks so much better in person. It feels really solid in your hands. It has more weight to it than the Tiara, which is crazy. And I love a lot of the little design touches. So for example, this ring around the lens on the top that has the aperture holes. So the light meter actually gets adjusted for the apertures with holes that let less and less light through, which is something common on rangefinders from days past. And I really like how this looks with the curved plastic over it. And then the focus throw is really, really short, but it is kind of hard to reach. So both the focus lever, which is down here, and the shutter button, which is up here, when I would have expected it to be over here, are kind of counterintuitive. If you're used to other cameras, that is something that you will have to get used to with this camera. So that's kind of weird at first. But other than that, it feels really, really nice in the hand. It has nice heft to it. The plastic doesn't feel as plasticky as I thought. So it actually feels much more solid and hefty than I expected. And since I'm in full-on gas mode anyways, I just bought another camera, a SLR actually, an Olympus OM-1. And unfortunately this is in really bad condition. I had some lenses for it already, so I didn't care about the lens. And it came with a 50mm 1.4, which is gorgeous, but has really bad fungus and the aperture doesn't work. So I'm gonna have to take it apart and try to fix it sometime. And yeah, this is right now on it is my 28mm 3.5, which is supposed to be an excellent lens. But the light meter doesn't seem to be working on this camera, so I'm gonna have to look into why that is. The battery is brand new, so that can't be it. And I'll have to test if the shutter actually works accurately, because I'm not quite sure. But otherwise, I really like how compact this is for an SLR. So in comparison with the Tiara, for example, it's not that much, the actual body is not that much bigger, which is nice. It's of course, being an SLR, it's heavier and louder. But yeah, it's a nice camera. I hope it works. And oh yeah, I was gonna say about the Tiara, another thing that I don't like is motors. I hate motors. And then the last thing I wanted to show you right now is a book that I finally bought. And this has been featured in a lot of these videos, so I won't go too much in depth on it, but I really wanted to show you this. It's called Modern Color by Fred Herzog. And Fred Herzog is another one of my favorite photographers in Canada. And he shot a lot of pictures with barbershops in them. So you can see the cover is an image of a barbershop, and he has a few of these in there, and they're always very nicely composed, but also he has a great eye for color. So I really enjoy this book and his photography. Most of them are again, this style that I enjoy very much, of just scenes of a town, and it's really more focused on the city of, I think it's Vancouver, rather than the people. And the people are there to make the pictures more interesting, but the pictures are not 100% about the people, which is something that I usually can consider to be my images like that as well. I rarely focus on one person as my subject. I usually have people in there to make a scene more interesting, but they're more an element of decoration to the scene, and they don't make the scene what it is. So yeah, those are photos that I really enjoy. So if you're into vintage photography, color photography, and street but not too in your face, then this is for you. It's a big book than I expected, but I seem to be saying that a lot. So yeah, that's my little photography pickups video for today. I'm trying to make a bit more content for you guys, because we're all cooped up at home, and if you're anything like me, then you've already watched everything that was to watch on film photography YouTube. One thing to point out, Matt Day just put out a call, I guess, on his Twitter for new up-and-coming film photography channels, and there were a lot of replies to that. So if you're looking for new stuff to watch on YouTube, go through his mentions, because there's a lot of channels that I did not know, and I'm following like a dozen new people as of today. So that's fun, and I'm looking forward to catching up on all that content. And thanks for staying with me today. I really appreciate it. If you're inclined to do so, please subscribe and like this video. Drop a comment if you have anything to say. I would love to converse with you guys. I read all the comments, obviously, because I don't get that money. So yeah, I would really enjoy that. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.